How's it going, everybody?
Good.
Good to see so many faces.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Good evening.
Bonsoir.
Hey, bonsoir.
Look, other humans.
Awesome.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, ça va bien?
Ça va bien, toi?
Ah, très bien, merci. It's after 5 o'clock, so.
It looks like orange juice to me.
It's orange juice.
Sure.
Or more of an amber juice, but
Okay, I think we'll give it a couple more minutes just to make sure in case there's anyone else, although it doesn't look like there's anybody waiting, so I don't want to delay things too much.
Oh, Steve and Chris. Oh, good to see everybody here. This is great.
Very good. All right. Great. Oh, Susan Young just entered the room. Okay. All right. I'll get things going, everybody. Just make sure you're on mute if you're not speaking. I'm Robin. I am Councillor Tierney's executive assistant, and welcome to our event this evening. So good evening, everyone. Bonsoir à vous tous. Thanks for joining us all tonight for this evening's Ottawa Vanier volunteer recognition event. We first want to recognize that Ottawa is located on the unceded territory of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe Nation. We extend our respect to all First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples for their valuable past and present contributions to this land. Nous reconnaissons qu'Ottawa se trouve sur un territoire non cédé de la nation algonquine Anishinaabe. Nous tenons d'ailleurs à saluer l'ensemble des membres des Premières Nations et des peuples inuits et métis pour leur apport précieux passé et présent dans la région. For those of you who have dedicated so much of yourselves to giving back to your communities and looking out for, furry friends or coaching, local youth, just to name a few of the things we've seen, we'd like to thank you all for joining us this evening as we honor you and the amazing contributions that you've provided as Ottawa Vanier volunteers in your communities. Cette soirée est pour vous honorer et nous sommes vraiment heureux d'être ici avec vous et que vous êtes capable de nous rejoindre. Just a quick note for your knowledge, everybody, and information, we are streaming on Facebook and the event is being recorded. So I'd like to briefly go over the order of things for the evening to make sure we're all on track. We'll first hear from our provincial member of parliament, Lucille Collard. Premièrement, on va entendre quelques mots de notre députée provinciale, Lucille Collard, pour commencer la soirée. Ensuite, chaque conseiller va s'introduire à nous avant de remettre virtuellement les certificats aux volontaires nommés. À la fin de la soirée, la députée fédérale, Mona Fortier, fera également part de ses remarques concernant l'incroyable travail de nos bénévoles d'Ottawa Vanier. Puis, avant de nous séparer, je ferai une brève conclusion. Each councillor will have an opportunity to virtually present a certificate to each recipient within their respective wards. Just so everybody knows, we're gonna go in numerical order to the ward. So we'll start with 11, 12, and then Ward 13, and go in that cycle until we all acknowledge you. As each councillor presents their certificates, the volunteer being acknowledged will have the opportunity to say a few words. If you want to, no pressure. Chaque personne qui reçoit leur certificat auront la chance de dire quelques mots aussi. Once the ceremony has concluded, the certificates that we've made up for you all will be given to you in hard copy before the end of the month. So we'll be reaching out to contact you to coordinate the best way of doing that. So without further ado, nous aimerions que Lucille Collard, notre députée provinciale, commence avec son discours d'ouverture.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Hello everyone. It's nice to see so many people. Thank you, Robin, for organizing much of this. You're really something, and I'm really grateful. And it's so nice to see so many faces and many familiar faces as well. So I just want to start by just thanking the volunteers generally, for your generosity and your empathy. It's so important nowadays. I just wanted to say a word, like as many of you probably know now, I've just been elected like over a year ago when the pandemic hit. And, I was really lucky and grateful to be able to count on the collaborations of my colleagues, the other elected official of Ottawa, Vanier. And we decided very early on to get together and collaborate throughout this pandemic. And it's been so great to do that, that we've decided to continue to do that post-pandemic. So we've been having those conversations pretty much weekly ever since the pandemic hit. And, getting together and talking about the concerns and the ideas that we have, we came up with actually this really great idea of, having a volunteer recognition event, knowing that so many people during this pandemic have gone out of their way to help their neighbors and people in need. And I think it's really worth recognizing. So I'm really, really happy to be part of this event. The province and I would say our country is shaken up right now by, horrific hate crimes. And, your doing is really an example that there is goodness in people, and it counterbalance all, to some level anyway, all the horrifying feeling that we've been having. Donc, je voudrais vraiment vous remercier d'être aussi présent dans vos communautés, d'être si généreux, de partager votre temps puis de venir en aide à ceux qui en ont le plus besoin. C'est tellement important dans notre communauté. On en a besoin. Et puis, grâce à vous, on peut espérer avoir un meilleur futur. So, thank you for just being who you are and for making a province, our province, a better place to live. And, just by your simple actions, and especially by showing that you care. So I want to thank you to all of you who are going to be receiving an award tonight. I'm sure that a lot of people, would also deserve it. And, some choices.
Oops, I think Lucille, you went on mute.
Yeah, it says the host muted me. So am I speaking too long? Is that what's happening?
The music started to play.
controlling my
The music
speech.
started to play.
This only happens at the legislature where the speaker actually cuts you off if you go over time in your debate notes. So, okay, I'm glad that it's not that rigid. But anyway, my last word was just thanking you for being who you are and for really showing that you care, because that's really what we all need as human beings. And, we're getting out of this pandemic, no doubt about it, even though it requires some patience to some level. But again, thank you. And I'm really so happy to be meeting, many of you virtually, and certainly looking forward to meeting all of you in person at some point. So thank you very much. And Robin, you can mute me now if you want.
Sorry about that. It's totally an accident.
It's okay.
Now I'd like to invite, in order, we'll ask the councillors to briefly introduce themselves. So Tim, go for it.
Hey, great. Thank you very much, Robin. And grand merci tout le monde. C'est un grand plaisir ce soir for all of us to get together. And I'll keep it very brief, but I think Lucille is not highlighting the great work that Moan and myself, Matthew and Wallison have been doing from the start of the pandemic. We are the strongest riding in the entire city. Other ridings are jealous. They jumped on late in the game on their communications, making sure things were there. And as we keep going through things, we keep finding new ways to inspire people virtually through this pandemic. We've done multiple different things. There's a few other things that we share ideas on, share our communications with, and we say, we're putting politics aside. We want to get the job done. We are months away from this being over. We want to make sure it's done right. One thing that I had a massive issue with is I made notice, and again, I want to be very clear, I'm not taking the shot at the province, but when they introduced their awards, they were introducing thousands and thousands of people. And I know of one individual this evening that will be receiving an award that got literally a blink on a screen. And I didn't think that was good. I think we have to recognize the people within our ridings and within our wards that do the tremendous work that we're paid to do this. You guys are not. And I think that is terribly important to make sure we recognize the individuals that do it. The nominations that were flying in for all the community leadership was unbelievable. And I want to thank everyone. So I'll leave it there. I'm so lucky I'm Ward 11. I'm the first.
Vas-y, Mathieu.
Alors, bonsoir tout le monde. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I will build on to what was said so far. Ottawa is a strong, united city. It is based on 112 different neighborhoods, and we rely heavily on each community. I strongly believe that volunteerism is it's in our blood, it's in our DNA. We want to help, we want to contribute. You are making a significant difference in whatever interest and passion you have in your respective neighborhood or in a particular neighborhood of interest. Je sais que tous et chacun d'entre vous avez étampé sur le cœur notre ville, être passionné pour aider les gens. Vous faites une différence, puis c'est un privilège pour nous aujourd'hui de vous reconnaître dans vos efforts. Donc, merci. J'espère que vous profitez de cette occasion-là pour parler de l'impact que vous avez et aussi de la différence que vous souhaitez avoir apporté dans notre communauté à travers la ville. I hope that you take the opportunity this evening to share your engagement broadly with our community so that it inspires other leaders, other seniors, newcomers, family members, business leaders, to take the leap and to do volunteer in our community. And I'll thank you, and I'll pass it to my friend and colleague, Councillor King, to add on to this. I should actually say I didn't properly introduce myself. So I represent the best part of our city, which includes all of Lower Town, Sandy Hill, and Vanier.
And I'm Ralston King. I'm the counselor for, I think, one of the best parts of the city as well, Rideau Rockcliffe, that has many wonderful neighborhoods, including New Edinburgh, Linden Lee, Rockcliffe, Manor Park, Overbrook, and Cardinal Glen. And, I think we are here tonight because we are in awe. We are in awe of you. I know that at one point I was a volunteer at a community association, and I know all the hard work that volunteers do. And it's amazing what has been done during the COVID-19 pandemic within our federal riding, within Ottawa Vanier, the provincial riding, and within my ward especially. And I think it's absolutely necessary to have nights like this to really acknowledge the amazing work that volunteers have done, especially in our community where we have highly economically challenged neighborhoods and many people who are vulnerable. And the wonderful thing that really excites me about Rideau Rockcliffe is that people come together to help one another. And I've seen amazing examples of that. We're going to see amazing examples of that tonight. The community collective is just incredible. And also other types of initiatives. I think of the food initiative that ensured that dollars were spent at local food businesses, and that those foodstuffs that were purchased by a number of volunteers went directly to our food bank. And we saw in excess of $75,000 raised by neighbors and volunteers and residents to support fellow neighbors. I went door to door in December with volunteers and other organizations, social service organizations that were doing wellness checks on vulnerable neighbors to make sure that they had the resources that they needed and that they had access to testing earlier during the pandemic. So there's amazing work that's just being done by all community members across Ottawa Vanier, and we want to recognize you tonight. And once again, it's we who are in awe of you, and you are the ones who inspire us when we're around the council table, and that's why we're here to honor you tonight. So thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to this evening.
Thanks, Ralston. Thanks to all the councillors and to Lucille for opening comments. We'll get right into it. So Tim, get ready. You are kicking us off.
You think I'd learn unmute by now, but I haven't. All that to say, I want to thank you, Robin, for the great work. Our first recipient this evening is someone that has done a tremendous amount, and I must say I'm very happy with the Kiwanis Club changing their name to represent an area that they service very heavily as well in the east end of the city. The Kiwanis Club of Eastern Ottawa is very well represented by Adam Polka. He is a very active contributor on several initiatives. Whether he actually launched this one thing that was kind of cool, it was a red, yellow, and green card for the windows, which he picked up on in another municipality and said, this might be a good idea. If people need help, this is a good way to be able to do it during a pandemic. His capacity as a board member, liaison with LOPA, he's really done a tremendous amount from a civic engagement point of view. Adam has also worked very directly with city councilors' offices to advance a number of community initiatives, including the rejuvenation of neighborhood parks, movies in the parks, as well as junior community gardens in support of local food banks. So on that note, I will dispense with me yapping on. And this certificate here, signed by your 3 local representatives, federal, provincial, and municipal myself, that would be me, horrible signature, I should have been a doctor. I will be presenting this, and I think, Robin, I'll make note of the fact this will be arriving in your mailbox with a couple little goodies in the next couple of days. This award goes to Adam Polka. Thank you very much for what you have done within the community. Adam, would you like to say a couple of words?
Listen, thank you so much. I mean, thank you for saving the best for last also. Total privilege to be here. And that privilege really extends just by looking at the faces on the screen here. So many faces I recognize from so many volunteer hours, so many volunteer events. And so it truly is an honor to be with all of you on this call. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Congratulations. We'll now go on to the second Ottawa Vanier recipient for this evening, resident in Lowertown. Alors, bonsoir, Christian Capella. Est-ce que Christian est parmi nous ce soir? Robin, are you able to confirm?
Je crois, Mathieu, il était supposé d'être là, mais peut-être qu'il a eu de la difficulté à se connecter parce que j'ai un autre membre de mon équipe qui a eu de la difficulté à se connecter aussi.
Parfait. Bonsoir, Anne-Marie.
Merci.
Anne-Marie is the Community House Coordinator in Lowertown at the Lowertown Resource Center. She helped nominate Christian. So let me properly introduce Christian, and we'll be able to share the recognition with him later. Alors, Christian travaille auprès de la Banque alimentaire dans la Basse-Ville depuis déjà plusieurs années. Notamment, depuis le début de la pandémie, Christian a contribué plus de 800 heures de bénévolat. C'est beaucoup d'heures, ça, quand on pense, la pandémie, ça fait 1 an, donc c'est plus de 2 heures par jour, c'est extraordinaire, félicitations. Il contribue de façon significative au succès de la Banque alimentaire. Il soutient avec le déchargement et l'organisation, ainsi que la distribution pour les résidents de la Basse-Ville. Christian est toujours prêt à aider les résidents. Il est généreux, poli et agréable. Grâce à son aide, la Banque alimentaire continue de bien desservir la communauté durant cette période difficile. Des résidents dévoués comme Christian nous ont permis de continuer à fournir des services essentiels à la communauté. Donc, Anne-Marie, je te transmets mes remerciements. Christian, je pense que tu as pu te joindre à nous. Je vais t'amener un certificat avec une petite reconnaissance sous peu. Donc, merci de ton beau travail. Anne-Marie, merci aussi d'avoir soumis la nomination.
Allô?
Christian, voudrais-tu dire quelques mots?
Oui, vous m'entendez?
On vous entend très bien.
Merci beaucoup. Non, merci d'abord de m'accorder la parole. Tout d'abord, je tiens à remercier toutes les personnes responsables de cette reconnaissance des bénévoles d'Ottawa Vanier. pour m'avoir accordé cette opportunité. Je remercie encore une fois Mathieu, le directeur du Centre des ressources communautaires de la Basse-Ville. Sans oublier mes sincères remerciements vont également à la coordonnatrice de la maison communautaire de la Basse-Ville d'Ottawa, à la personne Anne-Marie Weisman, pour m'avoir donné l'occasion de continuer à faire du bénévolat dans le programme de la Banque d'alimentation. Je suis fier de participer à cette réunion. Je vous dis merci.
Merci beaucoup. Je passe maintenant la parole à mon collègue, Councillor King.
Merci. And, you know, it takes a special person to be prescient in March of 2020 to what COVID-19 would bring our way. And that person who was very prescient was George Parkani of New Edinburgh. When the community collective, the community associations of New Edinburgh, Linden Lee, Rockcliffe, Manor Park, Vanier, Overbrook, and Cardinal Glen recognized that COVID-19 could create new food insecurity for residents, someone was already coming up with a solution. George took the early steps to enlist the desire of residents to help with what was coming, to support a common good. Volunteers were recruited, lists were created, and resident needs emerged. Food bank hamper delivery to residents was revealed as an unmet need. Vulnerable residents, those isolating or unable to leave home due to illness or vulnerability, would benefit from food bank hamper delivery to their homes. Meeting this emerging need manifests itself today as Ottawa Cares, a program of volunteer drivers deployed using newly developed technology, delivering over 25,000 food hampers and serving over 7,000 people so far. George is one of the founders of Ottawa Cares. As the project evolved, George volunteered his time and expertise, plus Google Sheets of volunteers and safety protocols. He was a vanguard voice protecting the privacy and dignity of food hamper recipients and protecting the security and safety of volunteer drivers. Volunteers trusted him because of his track record of service to the community. It takes a person of vision and generous spirit to hand off information and the job to others. Today, George volunteers as a driver delivering food bank hampers for Ottawa Cares. This also speaks to his great character. Ottawa Cares and the whole community thanks you. I thank you, George, and I'm proud to present you with a recognition award and invite you to say a few words.
Well, thank you very much. But I've got to say it was very much a collaboration. I think the Manor Park Community Association, Vanier, and the food banks just did a phenomenal job. There were multiple individuals that were involved in the brainstorming and so on. So really, it's more of a team effort, definitely. And I've got to say that what really impresses me is that these groups, Ottawa Cares in particular, I mean, that's groundbreaking. We hadn't heard of food bank delivery anywhere. And I think we initiated it collectively, this group of people that you talked about earlier. So I think that's the impressive thing. I've seen on the ground, the response of people, when they receive the food, people that can't get out and actually go get it themselves. Some people just can't even get to the food bank. So that was very eye-opening for me and also very rewarding to see the looks on the faces of people, the thank yous and so on. So anyway, I think it's really very much a community effort. It's an innovative community effort, and good on you guys too. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great. So I guess I'm back up because I'm number 11. First of all, I want to say thank you. The next recipient within the Ward 11 area is Jocelyn Bennick. She spends a great deal of time and effort in many facets, and she's always supporting. First, she's an animal rescuer, runs Jay's Animal Rescue. She's been rescuing and caring for cats and dogs and taking care of feral cats in colonies, ensuring that they're spayed or neutered, and friendly cats get rehabilitation and adopted. She's also someone that helps many of the others that she can. Her nominator describes her best as caring, compassionate, and full of energy. Absolutely, without a doubt. She gives herself so many causes, but she's always tasking herself to help out. So I just want to say, here is your certificate. I'm hoping you can see this. Jocelyn, this will arrive in your mailbox one day very, very soon with a couple of trinkets. Congratulations. And I'd ask you if you'd like to say a couple of words.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Tim, for taking time. I'm new to this Zoom thing, so at least I'm not a cat.
I love your sign in the background. You're preaching right there. I love it.
MPs for pause, you know. So yes, thank you very much, guys. I do want to help everybody in the community. I do help with the animal rescue, but I do help with the low-income community and the senior people and people with disabilities when they need help with their pets, or simply, you know, helping with groceries or anything like that, or sometimes moral support. I try to do my best to try to help my community in any way I can. So thank you, Tim, for everything you do. And thank you guys for nominating me. It's just something I'm passionate about.
Amazing stuff. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Pour la prochaine reconnaissance, je me demande si, Robin, peux-tu confirmer si Gwen s'est joint à nous ce soir?
Oui, je suis là.
Bonsoir, Gwen.
Bonsoir.
Alors, c'est un plaisir pour moi de reconnaître Gwen Madiba. Gwen est une leader impressionnante et accomplie à tellement de niveaux sur la scène internationale, au niveau national et particulièrement ce soir pour son implication au niveau local. Elle a été reconnue pour son engagement, pour tous ses exploits et son leadership en recevant l'Ordre d'Ottawa en 2019. Elle a également fondé le Gala du mois de l'histoire des Noirs pour ne citer que quelques-unes de ses nombreuses réalisations dans notre communauté. As the president and founder of the Equal Chance Foundation, an organization that promotes the social, economic, cultural, and political well-being of members of the Black community across Canada, the majority of her work is done in the national capital, leading many important initiatives right here in our community in Vanier. Gwen has been front and center in the fight to ensure adequate housing for families experiencing homelessness. Many are newcomers, specifically who live here in Vanier, and is praised by many for her knowledge, effectiveness, and advocacy across the city. I consider myself very lucky to be able to work directly with and learn from Gwen and how to better serve our community. Merci beaucoup, Gwen. Ton implication fait une réelle différence. C'est un privilège d'avoir cette occasion de travailler avec toi. Est-ce que tu nous ferais le privilège de nous partager quelques mots pour la reconnaissance?
Ben oui, merci beaucoup déjà à toi, Mathieu, mais aussi à tout le monde, à chacune des personnes qui ont rendu ce soir possible. Et je pense que plusieurs des bénévoles ici vous diront qu'on fait ce travail parce qu'on aime ce qu'on fait, parce qu'on aime les gens et pas pour se faire recevoir de reconnaissance, mais ça fait quand même toujours plaisir de voir tout le monde et surtout ce soir. Et puis, je voulais juste dire merci beaucoup, Mathieu, pour tout le travail que tu fais aussi. I just want to take a moment to thank Matthew as well for all of the work that you've been doing in the community. It's been not an easy process, especially working with homeless families. It's been quite difficult, but we are here because of them, and we are their voice at times when they can't speak. And you've been their voice. And so I just want to say thank you so much. And thank you to each volunteer here who have been dedicating their time to, just giving back a sense of hope to others. Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Well, thank you. And I'll move on. And What can I say about my very good friend Ishmael Awana? Ishmael has welcomed new immigrants and refugees from Africa to Canada and helped them navigate our society for many years. His dedication to alleviation of fear created by the pandemic for vulnerable residents in Overbrook has been a true gift to our community. He speaks an unbelievable number of languages: French, English, Arabic, Amharic, and Somali, and he immigrated to Canada over 20 years ago. Last March, Ishmael instinctively knew how confusing everything could be and had already reached out to vulnerable residents, many of them who were already isolated because they were scared and were further scared by what was happening with the pandemic. He put on a mask, and with hand sanitizer in pocket, he began knocking on doors to speak to residents. He comforted terrified people afraid to open locked doors and provided information, assurances, and food. He discovered when people were sick and disabled and hungry residents who were afraid to speak and were afraid to ask for help. And in a few cases, even ambulances were called and new living arrangements were sought. Ishmael really mobilized neighborhoods to start a meal program, with weekly delivery. In conjunction with the team at the Rideau Rockcliffe Community Resource Center and Food for Thought Cafe, that team has delivered more than 1,500 meals, 3,000 plus portions, alleviating the worst effects of the pandemic for more than 100 families and residents of our community. Ishmael also recognized many residents were lacking protective equipment, so he sought out donations and has distributed nearly 300 masks and dozens of disinfectants. He has helped buy groceries, and he's equipped and reassured people to use transit, advocated for COVID testing. I know because we were recipients of that advocacy, and that pushed us on to advocate even more, and helped supply families in quarantine. He has connected many community members to needed resources and even gathered toys for children at the end of last year. He's currently trying to arrange a kitchen to provide a cooperative cooking and teaching opportunity for new immigrants and to establish a soccer league for young boys. I don't know where he finds the time, but obviously he's dedicated much to his community as being as well a vice president of the Overbrook Community Association and head of the Francophone Djibouti Association of Ontario. He's an exceptional individual whose service really does merit celebration. So I'm so pleased to present a recognition award to him and to invite him to say a few words.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Merci beaucoup. Thanks everyone. I recognize some faces, so I'm so happy tonight to just, and very honored to this meeting with you guys. Je suis vraiment trop heureux d'être avec vous. Je remercie beaucoup, comme je connais presque quelques visages ici. Je dis bonsoir et puis merci beaucoup à Madame l'honorable ministre Mona Fortier. Je salue aussi Madame MB de Vanier, Madame Lucie Collard. Merci à Monsieur Mathieu Fleury qui a essayé plusieurs fois de nous aider à la communauté aussi. Monsieur Tierney aussi qui est dans notre communauté aussi presque et que récemment on a eu quelques morts de coin de ça veut dire son coin là comme on appelle à côté de Home de Gaulle. Il y a eu un de nos jeunes qui est mort, qui a eu ça veut dire avec les gangs et les drogues. Donc je vous remercie. Je vais dire merci beaucoup à tout le monde. Je ne peux même pas dire quelques mots parce que je suis vraiment très heureux parce que quand on reconnaît ton travail et ton effort, like your effort, when they recognize, like it's like something very huge for me. So I say thank you guys. And this cette reconnaissance appartient pas seulement à moi, mais pour toute ma communauté, comme Aster qui est ici. Il y a notre président Eder qui est aussi président Et il y a aussi Johan. Donc, c'est toute notre communauté qui ont eu cette reconnaissance. Et je remercie à ma famille et puis mes amis qui sont ici. Et je vais dire merci beaucoup à tout le monde.
Grand merci, and thank you for that. Wow. I love seeing the recognition for all the people that are actually doing the work on the ground during this whole thing. And our next up is Sophie Chanel Bourret. Graduating from Collège Saint-Mégy this year, she's done a crazy amount of work. I can't describe what she's done in the community. Future leadership right there, people. Keep an eye on her. She's helped organize many give back to the community events with other members of the communities within the school. And I'll give you a couple of quick examples. Organizing a collection of warm clothing for Shepherds of Good Hope, the collection of items for the Gloucester Emergency Food Cupboard. You might know I'm a little bit passionate about that. The donations of toys for household items for La Maison Marie-Louis dans Vanier, as well as within COVID-19, she's made sure that the youth group has continued to meet virtually. She coordinates and prepares over 80 plus greeting cards with thoughtful wishes for seniors in our community. That's one element I think we really have to really focus on with this whole, let's face it, it's been months and months, years and months, and Sophie Chanel has certainly delivered on that. She's made blankets for children who end up in women's shelters and amazing leadership skills within her community. So let's give it up for Chantal. And I'm hoping she wants to say a couple of words here because you've done so much. I don't know how you can fit in what you're going to say next.
Thank you so much, Tim. Trini. So thank you, merci for the wonderful ceremony. This truly is an honor. Mon bénévolat me permet de grandir et de devenir la personne que je suis aujourd'hui. Grâce à mon implication dans ma communauté, je peux reconnaître plusieurs merveilleuses personnes sur cet appel. Les projets communautaires que nous accomplissons nous permettent de voir la différence que nous faisons dans la vie des jeunes et notre communauté. En tant qu'une optimiste, je suis fière d'avoir accompli d'innombrables heures de bénévolat et de continuer à m'impliquer dans ma communauté encore aujourd'hui. Puisque c'est devenu une de mes passions, j'aimerais remercier mes parents et mentors qui m'ont accompagnée durant ces dernières années et m'ont toujours montré l'importance de s'impliquer dans notre communauté. Et un gros merci à Rachel pour m'avoir nominée. Thank you, Tim, for this recognition, and to all the volunteers for their implication within their communities. You really are an inspiration to all.
Félicitations, c'est super de voir la jeunesse aussi qui est là pour prendre la relève. Hein? On a besoin, on a grandement besoin. Robin, pourrais-tu confirmer si Susan Young a pu se joindre à nous ce soir?
She's here.
Oui, je suis là, Mathieu.
Bonsoir, Susan. Good evening, Susan. So let me maybe do a little less formal. So Susan and I have been involved in the community for a number of years. The interaction between Susan and I is her role in the community association, particularly over the last number of years as president of Action Sandy Hill. As you know, community associations is volunteer-led. It's a lot of engagement on all fronts, from what's happening in the community and supporting those efforts, good and bad, and supporting also what's happening at City Hall, good and bad. And Susan has been central to that for, as a president, most recently over the last 4 years, but her engagement well over the last decade. Susan has put has brought a lot of leadership to the community association table to ensure that the community association is strategic on the efforts, is coordinated, is clear as well on the engagement, specifically as it relates to development, specifically as it relates to the environment, specifically as it relates to relationship with the University of Ottawa. I really want to thank Susan for being and on the ground doing things as it relates to park improvement, tree planting, asphalt removal, especially the initiative along Somerset. It takes a lot of time away from the family, and Susan has an older boy now, but at the time of your early engagement, your son was still in high school and even in elementary school in the area. So Susan, I want to recognize you. I know you've just stepped down from the presidency at the Community Association. I want to thank you. I want you to know, and I know you know this, that the work you've done, the contribution of the association is very meaningful. We can feel it, we can see it, and it really shapes the future of our community. So I want to thank you for that, and I'd love to hear your perspective on how you stayed involved all these years, and what you feel how you feel our elected officials can support volunteers, specifically on community associations.
Mm-hmm. Merci beaucoup, Mathieu. I just want to say Mathieu and I play very good cop, bad cop. That's a very effective way to get at least our opinions known, views made, etc. I've also been happy in my time to write some talking points for Mathieu to use in meetings. So
Susan, you're giving our tricks away.
I tell you. But anyways, yeah, it's a ton of work. There's lots to do. Tout le monde a du pain sur la planche. Tout le monde à tous les niveaux du gouvernement. C'est pas possible. Il y a tellement d'enjeux. En tout cas, bon courage à tous, je dis. And I just want to put in a plug for now that I've stepped down and stepped away a little bit, although I had a panic call today from somebody on the board. Anyways, to say climate change, my friends, it's a big deal. We have to do something about it. Everybody needs to do a little part because it's going to be a scary thing. So that's my next area of action, let's see. So there we go. That's it. Merci beaucoup.
Merci Suzanne. Merci beaucoup.
Well, as we move to Ward 13 next, I'd really like to acknowledge Iola Price, who has been on the board of directors of the Rockcliffe Park Residents Association for about 10 years, maybe longer, and has served as its secretary for many of those years. Friends and fellow board members would say that for many years, her involvement was just that. It was really a full-time job, and she has always championed the environment and is presently the chair of Rockcliffe Park's very active Environment Committee. Iola was also instrumental in the production of the Residents Association's newsletter and its delivery over many years. She faithfully writes articles on the environment and has long been the go-to person on all environmental questions. One of her latest projects has been to encourage Rockcliffe Park property owners to hire landscape maintenance providers that use electric outdoor leaf blowers, electric trimmers, and lawn mowers, as opposed to gasoline-powered appliances. Iola was the past president of Ontario's Invasive Plant Council from 2014 to 2019 and still serves on their board of directors. She was also a chair of the Ottawa Forest and Green Space Advisory Committee, reporting to the City of Ottawa and advising on urban and rural tree forestry issues and wetland protection. Iola's the champion of the Carver Conservation Area adjacent to Mackay Lake, and is often observed faithfully removing buckthorn, garlic mustard, and dog strangling vine in Rockcliffe and surrounds. And I remember before COVID-19, she gave me a tour and showed me those invasive species that she and her team had been removing. She has been instrumental in ensuring that the pond subcommittee either encourages the city to water test the pond, or that the Residents Association really takes that on as their own initiative. Her services to the environment are longstanding, and I'm pleased to present her tonight with this recognition award. And I wish you to say a few words to us.
There we go. Thanks. Well, you know, we all need a healthy environment in order to live healthy and fulfilling lives. My environmental focus is designed to complement the work of all these other people who have been given awards and who are going to be given awards on all their many social initiatives. I've been privileged to work professionally and personally on a wide range of environmental issues, and thank you, Ralston, for your for digging them up. I don't normally like to, talk about what I do. I just like to go out and get it done. Anyway, I consider it to be a privilege to continue to work on environmental issues so that those of us who live in Ottawa and Ontario and Canada have a healthy and sane environment so that we can all live healthy and happy lives to the best of our abilities. So thank you very much. I appreciate the award.
Thank you.
Great. So I guess I'm back up again, and I'll just pull up my quick notes here. I don't need notes for this one. This is easy peasy. I want to give props to a good friend and Community Association President, Jeff Kolaski. Rhymes with a husky. He always reminds me of that. But that being said, we've gone through a lot of stuff over the last little while, and we're very, very excited. And I know Minister Fortier is on this call about some of the money that is trickling down to be able to expand our Beacon Hill Community Center. By way of history, his father actually was part of the initial expansion of that community center. And I've spoken even with Jane about this, about how exciting this is, that we're going to actually see something more than a bunker. It's going to have windows. Imagine windows in a community center. We're really excited about this. I just wanted to say thank you very much, Jeff, to your community association with a very popular Facebook group to make sure we get the messaging out. I think that is the key of this, is to make sure we let people know when it's quickest and easiest to be able to book. I know Councillor King and Fleury, myself, have been really working that messaging, and a big part to you on the communications front. So this certificate of recognition goes to Jeff Kolaski. So thank you very much, Jeff, and I hope you have a couple of words that you would like to say today.
I sure do. First of all, can we all admit that the good money was on me to have the naked Zoom accident, right? But thanks so much for doing this. I'm sure I speak for most of the other volunteers. We don't do this for recognition. But it is nice to have to be recognized, even if it is just amongst our own little group of people who donate a lot of their time, a lot of their effort. If anyone is interested, Tim and I have figured out a way of having a Canada Day parade that is completely, totally COVID friendly and safe. So if you're interested, hit me up and I'll let you know how to do it. Anyways, thanks again, Tim, and I'll be seeing you all at many other volunteer events.
Thank you, Jeff.
Congrats. Prochaine reconnaissance, c'est André Lortie. Est-ce qu'André est ici, Robin?
Oui, elle est là.
Oui. André, ah oui, voilà, je te vois. Parfait. Alors, André a grandi à Vanier et reste une membre active dans notre communauté. Tout comme son père, Geoffre Bélanger, oui, qui a un nom de rue nommé pour son travail dans notre communauté, le bien-être de Vanier est au cœur de ses activités bénévoles. En tant que présidente du club optimiste de Vanier depuis déjà 2 ans et en nomination pour une 3e année, elle a concentré ses efforts sur l'aide des enfants de Vanier pendant la pandémie. En plus de distribuer des paniers de Noël aux familles dans le besoin, André a également organisé des concours littéraires virtuels pour les élèves de Vanier, particulièrement à Tré-des-Bois et à Maurice-Bélanger, pour ne nommer que quelques-uns, tout en continuant à promouvoir fièrement la francophonie. Merci André pour ton engagement et continue ton beau travail à Vanier et avec le club Optimiste. Voudrais-tu dire quelques mots? Oh, on ne t'entend pas. On va demander à nos gens techniques là, de... En attendant, je vois beaucoup de gens des optimistes. Là. On vous envoie la main. Salut les optimistes. Je vois ma deuxième maman, Louise Etier, à l'écran. Je suis content de te voir. André, on va t'entendre maintenant.
OK, bien, je recommence. Merci pour cette élogieuse présentation pour commencer. J'apprends à me connaître. Merci pour cette marque de reconnaissance aussi. Elle m'a surprise, mais elle m'a touchée, puis je me sens humblement honorée. Il y a quelques années, je suis tombée en amour avec le Club optimiste de Vanier, sa mission et sa vision. Comme vous l'avez dit, j'entreprendrai bientôt ma 3e année comme présidente. Comme on œuvre auprès de la jeunesse, moi, ça m'aide des fois à oublier un nombre de mes propres années et à constater puis à apprécier que la jeunesse d'aujourd'hui, c'est une richesse et que ça vaut la peine de lui aider parce que c'est nos espoirs de demain. Je me dois absolument partager cet honneur, par contre, avec tous les membres optimistes qui m'épaulent. Je suis choyée de présider une équipe aussi dynamique et puis aussi exceptionnelle et les résultats le prouvent. Alors, notre mission, c'est d'inspirer le meilleur chez les jeunes. Alors, nous sommes présents dans les écoles avec plusieurs programmes. Nous tentons de contribuer à certains besoins pour financer des projets ou pour aider à combler certains autres besoins, toujours dans le domaine scolaire. Sur la scène communautaire, eh bien, nous apprécions beaucoup nos partenaires. Ils sont absolument essentiels au bon roulement de tout le club. Et puis, nous chouchoutons, entre autres, bien, le Centre des services communautaires de Vanier, l'Hôpital des enfants, la Fédération optimiste des enfants canadiens, le Centre d'accueil Champion, le Musée au Parc et d'autres. La dernière année, ça n'a pas été facile pour personne. Nos sources puis nos activités de financement ont pas mal été maganées. Mais en bons optimistes, comme tous les autres qui sont ici, nous avons donc dû nous réimaginer et nous réinventer. Et nous espérons revenir beaucoup plus fort l'an prochain, ou bientôt. Peut-être même au mois d'août avec une épluchette de blé d'Inde au Parc optimiste avec vous. Alors, sur une autre note, j'aimerais faire part ce soir que le Club optimiste de Vanier et tous les clubs optimistes du district Est-Ontario vont, au mois d'octobre de cette année, faire partie d'une entité, d'une entité fédérée d'optimistes internationales. Et nous allons être connus sous le nom de optimistes francophones canadiens. Alors, c'est du nouveau pour nous autres et puis c'est une nouvelle aventure. Ça va marcher comme le restant a toujours marché. Alors, en attendant, pour finir, je me laisse dire merci et féliciter sincèrement tous les responsables de cette initiative, de cette soirée, nos partenaires, tous les membres du Club optimiste de Vanier et peut-être entre parenthèses Monique Perrault, elle saura pourquoi. Tous les organismes et individus qui font que collectivement, nous arrivons à créer une meilleure société. Alors, c'est à tous nous autres ce soir, je pense. Et puis, j'ose ajouter à mon papa. Alors, le travail au sein de notre équipe est important, mais ce qui compte, c'est que de travailler en s'amusant et en ayant du fun, et c'est ce qui se passe chez nous. Alors, ne l'oubliez pas, nous recrutons. Bonsoir et merci.
Merci, André. Merci beaucoup.
The next person that we would like to honor is a friend of mine as well. That I've known for a long period of time in our neighborhood, Joanne Lockyer. And Joanne has lived and volunteered in Overbrook since she first crossed the rapids from Sandy Hill to find her love. Standing joke she shares with her husband Lowell for 43 years ago. Together with Lowell, whose family has lived in Overbrook for 4 generations, she has deep roots in the neighborhood. A natural organizer, she loves to create occasions that bring people together and build and support community, which she has done as a longtime board member of the Overbrook Community Association, as a parent, as an artist, and a craftsperson. On behalf of OCA, she has led annual community events, winter carnivals, spring garage sales, summer community days for many years. As a school volunteer and school council chair, she fostered arts and crafts, raised funds, and helped shape the child-centered learning environment of Overbrook Public School, which now unfortunately is closed. As a hockey mom, she joined the executive, ran fundraisers, and organized banquets for the St. Laurent Hockey Association. As a artist and a crafter, she has held regular events to raise awareness and support arts in the community. And we see those examples with Arts and Scraps Flea Market and Arts by the Rideau, which we hope will make its return once we get to the other side of the COVID tunnel. Joanne's vision led to what she says is her most rewarding project, and I would agree with her, the development of Riverside Memorial Park. A vacant and neglected city park space in 2008. Over the next 5 years, Joanne led advocacy and fundraising efforts, provided planning input, designed the park benches and veterans plaque, and fought for the swings and sandboxes that are an integral part of welcoming and really the well-used park that it is today. She continues to organize Remembrance Day gatherings, and both Councillor Fleury and I enjoyed that last Remembrance Day gathering that she held. And she drives park cleanups and looks forward to more events when the pandemic is behind us. Thank you, Joanne, for being a pillar of our community, and I'll invite you to say a few words if you wish.
Thank you, Ralston. Well, you know, I'm not usually short on words, but I am tonight. I want to thank you for this award. Like Mathieu said earlier, it's in your DNA. I grew up in Sandy Hill, and I've been a volunteer since I was a teenager. And Sandy Hill, the old community center. Anyway, so moving forward, I have to thank a lot of people, because this whole thing, all these events, everything else would have not happened without our volunteers. So I don't know what else to say, but thank you, and it'll continue.
Thank you so
much. And my
much.
husband here will certainly be.
I'm Joanne's back.
Yeah, Lowell, Joanne's husband. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And moving on to the next. And I can't believe, and I know Councillor King is very, and Councillor Fleury is very passionate about this group that does so much for our community. I can't believe that I get to do a 3-for-1. This is gonna be hilarious. Chris Lalone, Steve, and Christine O'Connor with the North Gloucester Giants. I think people know my passion about Jasmine Crescent and getting youth involved in sport, how very, very important it is. These guys stand up time and again, and it's not just restricted to the gridiron. It's not just about the football field. These guys give back to the community. Back when we had the floods a couple of years ago, they were out filling up sandbags to dam up some of our areas in the city of Ottawa that were going to get flooded. When it came to a very unfortunate situation on Jasmine Crescent way back in the past, but it's still always present today, and they always contribute to now. The homicides that unfortunately took place, they're always there. They're always in the community. They're like, Tim, do you need us to come out and do something? They're always there. So on that note, for obviously Christine O'Connor, we got Steve O'Connor, you might know that guy, and last but not least, Chris Lalone from the North Gloucester the Giants Football Club. What you guys do to keep youth inspired and involved in the community is absolutely unbelievable. We'll always be there to support. I know all 3 councillors support you guys. And we're also super proud that we got the Ken Steele Park bunker in place this year. Yes, thank you, development industry, and taking money from Section 37 money. We're very happy to get some stuff done in that park. And at this point, I'm hoping 1, 2, maybe 3 of you guys would like to say a couple of words, but I can't thank you enough for what you've done.
I'll let Christy and Steve speak first if they want to go ahead.
Well, of course you will, Chris. You always leave it up to me to start first. I thank you guys for you know, putting this out there, but you know, just it's important for kids to be involved in sports physically, mentally, helps keep kids on the right path. You know, a lot of our kids don't have structure in their lives, and that's the one thing we look to provide them is structure and showing them what you know, the meaning of happiness can be, and you know, being physically fit, being mentally fit. It's all very important to us, whether it's sandbagging, shoveling laneways, bringing food to communities that aren't even in our community. Yeah, the Giants is a great organization, and we always strive to help out our city, especially with inner city youth. I thank you, Tim, Ralston, Matthew. It's great to be honored this way. But however, this award goes mostly to all the kids in our area. So, Chris.
I'm assuming you're talking about me and not Christy. Yeah, I'd like to first off say thank you to all three counselors. We're lucky enough to actually be able to reach out to any of you guys on a quick phone call, text message, email, and it's surprising how easy it is to actually reach out to our counselors. Congratulations as well to all the volunteers today getting the award. It's amazing to see all the work that's being done in our community. On that note as well, we are always available if anybody ever needs any volunteers. We have lots of kids and they're willing to help. And I think it's good to have, especially all of you here today, as good role models. And you might not see it, but all these kids see the work that you guys are doing, and they learn from that. So we do appreciate everything you guys are doing in the community. We have a lot of cool projects coming up, so we're excited to get all our counselors on board. And like Steve said, these awards isn't just for us. These things aren't really capable without our coaches, our players, our families, everything. So much appreciate for this, guys, and looking forward to upcoming years. Thank you.
I'm hearing a lot of teamwork this evening. It's great to see. Next up is an OCH tenant leader.
Councillor Floria, just before that, apologies. Christine, did you want to say a quick word? You oh, I know you're a little shy there, but you've done a tremendous amount of work. And if you don't want to say anything, a quick wave is great. We're all going to give you a applaud, and thank you so much for everything you do.
Sorry, I am a little bit shy. When I started out with the Giants, it was because my stepdaughter was in cheer, and gradually over time, I was told to do a few extra things, and eventually it just become part of my everyday regular life. I got to know the kids there. At first, I was a little intimidated by some of the boys that were out on the field and the girls, but got to know how amazing these kids are and how much they look forward to football. The discipline these children are having while they're out on the field, and how important everybody, all the volunteers that are there, whether it's family members, the coaches, anybody, how important these people are to these kids, and just the structure in their lives from it. And it encouraged me to be more involved in it. So of course, we did get into the sandbagging, and we made sure the canteen was always there. We volunteered to do all kinds of different things. All the boys there this winter did the food delivery and everything for everybody, and everybody just kind of gets together, and it's amazing how you become a family when it comes to sports. And a lot of the kids need this. So thank you to everybody. Thank you so much, Tim, for all of your support. We really appreciate it. And congratulations to everybody else that received an award tonight. You all deserve it.
You're amazing, Christine. And a fun fact, I'm just going to throw this in super quick, which is kind of funny. I played high school football for West Carleton back in the day, but when I changed schools and moved around and did different things, I actually was, and I'm not making this up, there is stories about this, I was a cheerleader for the North Gloucester Giants back in the day. Yes, it's true.
Christy, you're not shy after all. It's great to hear. And I won't comment on Tim's football career.
Or his haircut.
Great to see the good spirit this evening. Now, let me introduce you to an Ottawa community housing tenant leader, Catherine Papineau. I saw Catherine on the screen. Catherine, good evening. She's a Lower Town resident. During some of the most challenging times, and notably during the pandemic, Catherine and her crew of tenant leaders have done everything possible to ensure all are looked after, feeling connected, and are able to get what they need and know where to get it. Catherine and her co-leader, Linda, and their amazing tenant leader team are the most generous and caring of volunteers. They spend hours organizing walk-through coffee, socials, soup days, Christmas parties, cleanups, so many. I could go on and on and on. I want to congratulate Catherine. She's a whole thing. We're recognizing her, but also all of our tenant leaders at OCH in our community. The recognition or the nomination do come from the OCH staff members, particularly Natalie Druin and Mel Arsenault. So Catherine, congratulations. You're always there looking out for one another. You're always there to support the tenants of OCH as well as the team members, and making sure that people are properly informed and are engaged. It's really meaningful work. C'est évidemment incroyable tout ce que tu fais. Je te félicite de ton engagement. Puis encore une fois, tu fais une réelle différence dans notre communauté, particulièrement avec les résidents de logement communautaire à Ottawa. Voudrais-tu dire quelques mots?
Thank you very much, Mathieu. I really appreciate this, and I know my co-leader helpers really appreciate it. And I was kind of surprised, and I'd like to thank Melissa and Natalie for nominating me and that. And hopefully COVID gets over with so that we could get back to our normal activities here. We're planning a little thing on Canada Day just to give ice cream to all the tenants. That's the best thing I could come up with for Canada Day, seeing that there won't be a celebration. And yeah, so anyways, I'd like to thank you very much, and I am much appreciated. And I'd like to say hi to Rosalind. Tim, I never had the opportunity to meet you, but glad to see you guys here. And that's all.
Catherine. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And congratulations as well. I really love to see the amount of volunteer work and acknowledge the work that's going on in OCH with our tenants. That work is really well valued by other residents. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing. I have the honor now to talk about a man who really needs no introduction, Chef Joe Thottegal. His beloved restaurants are known throughout Ottawa and Canada. But what is most notable about Chef Joe is the extraordinary philanthropic work he has done in recent years. When the pandemic started last year, Chef Joe was in India on a culinary tour and came straight home to Canada. He transformed the kitchen at Thali, his downtown restaurant, to produce delicious meals to people in need, whipping up other chefs to assist. Chef Joe has spoken profoundly about how he knows firsthand how it can be difficult for people to make ends meet. Joe's effort to address food insecurity and isolation with Food for Thought Cafe resulted in the Rideau Rockcliffe Community Resource Center delivering over 35,000, think of that, 35,000 hot meals to vulnerable community members facing barriers to accessing food supports during the COVID-19 pandemic, which started last April and in 2020 and continuing to the present. So that work continues. Food for Thought Cafe as a whole have delivered more than 150,000 meals at the end of February. The program is a lifeline for many. As one resident leader who volunteers for this program highlighted, these hot meals have provided a chance for him to connect with the most vulnerable in his building every week. For some of those community members, this hot meal delivery was their only outside contact with others during the week. And even with his own tragedy, with the fire that raged through Coconut Lagoon last year, Chef Joe is already all guns blazing, seeking to have the building rebuilt. He's dedicated to the idea that everyone deserves good food. He's been so generous with his time, labor, and staff, and dedicated to the community. It's a great honor for me to give Chef Joe this recognition and to invite him to say a few words.
Good evening, Councillor, and everybody else. Thank you very much for recognizing me for this award. And it truly belongs to the team at the Food for Thought. I was just an instrument. As a chef, you know, I would like to cook and serve people. And Food for Thought as a family, we are doing the best what we can do. And during this difficult time, a lot of chefs and hotel people were unemployed. And what I did was to pull all over everybody together, and they have a place to come and cook for. And it was a blessing during this pandemic. And this recognition goes to the team at the Food for Thought and my team at the restaurants, because when I moved out from the restaurant to help Food for Thought, they all kept their job during this difficult time. And I kept them so that they can have a living. I can work, help feed the people in need. I would like to especially thank the family at the Food for Thought, Sylvain, Mary, Anu, Doris, my good friend chef Jishnu, and all other chefs who came with their kit, toolkit, and started cooking whatever we say to them to cook. And we really enjoyed the time when everybody was in lockdown. We were actually having a little bit of fun and cooking, and those days were really a blessed days, and still. And by the way, the numbers are growing up. The numbers of meals what we served so far, it's around 250,000. And we can proudly say that we have our own kitchen now, and Food for Thought Cafe will be a institution in the food scene of Ottawa, where anybody can walk in or call, you will get a hot meal. That's our mission. And we are here to fulfill a lot of hearts, and we will continue to do that. And thank you everybody for honoring me through the Food for Thought. And I believe the Food for Thought is the winner in this situation. And I will take a last moment to thank my beloved family, my wife Suma, my kids Marianne, Matthew, and Michael. Without their support or without their encouragement, I could not do anything better. So I thank them. Thank everybody for recognizing me, and we still will be cooking. Happy cooking to all. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great, and thank you. I'm going to cut right to the chase here, because the reason why we're actually here this evening is when I was meeting with my colleagues, like we've done every week since the start of the pandemic, from municipal, provincial, and federal. I got a little heated. I do that on occasion and make some mistakes. That being said, I actually was like, wait a minute, I got a constituent that invited me to come out and really wanted me to see their award being received. And I was not happy with how they achieved that. When you have a name flashing up on a screen, you don't get this collegial environment where we're all together and actually recognizing people. So Maggie Tam, I want to acknowledge your 5 years of volunteering with the Girl Guides of Canada, Ontario Council. And this is why we're here this evening, is because of Maggie. I recognized we really have to look at the people that are actually doing the work within the areas, not just a name on a screen of 2,000 people. We want to actually give them the opportunity to speak and see their face and see what they're doing in our community. And Maggie's done a tremendous job. My two daughters went through Girl Guides. They do tremendous work, and she keeps the faith going. So Maggie, congratulations. You'll have this in your mailbox in a couple of days with a little extra something special with it. And I want to thank you for bringing this to my attention and inviting me to the initial awards, but I think you'll even agree this is even better. Oh no, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
Hear me?
Hear you now.
Okay. Well, I wasn't really asking for a recognition ceremony for me, but I was really upset for the lady who was volunteering for more than 50 years, and I was upset for her not getting the recognition. It was just a flash of seconds. I only have, this is my 10th year with Girl Guides, so I have more years to go for volunteering work. And it's also teamwork for me. I have two wonderful unit guiders, Jaeger Cooker and Burrito Cooker, and we're lucky to have support from the parents in our Brownies units, and so that we can continue to deliver Girl Guides programming during the pandemic. And thank you to today's organizers, especially Robin. It's very heartwarming to hear the tremendous efforts of the volunteers. So a big thank you to all of you, all the volunteers, for enriching the lives of members in our community. So thank you. Merci.
So humble. Thank you so much, Maggie. Really appreciate it.
Congratulations. So the last person I nominated is not able to join us this evening, but let me introduce you to her. So she's a resident in Sandy Hill. Her name's Hillary Duff. Hillary is a newer resident in our community. She's jumped right into her community involvement. She was unfortunately unable to join us, obviously, this evening. She is a board member of Action Sandy Hill. She sprung into action when the pandemic hit with the creation of the Sandy Hill Community Response Team. This important community resource was able to connect residents in need with other neighbors looking to lend a hand and other important information to keep everyone safe. Let me give you a few examples. When we were saying to residents over 70, stay home, don't go into grocery stores or pharmacy, it was quite a lot of anxiety because not every grocery store or pharmacy delivers. And initiatives like the one created here in Sandy Hill by Hillary were able to connect residents and enable access and delivery with the community support. In addition to this, she remains involved in promoting all that Sandy Hill has to offer. Most recently, she organized a COVID-safe, the dark side of Sandy Hill walking tour to highlight the historic aspects here in the neighborhood. It's always a pleasure to have creative and passionate volunteers like Hillary do work right here in our community. She can't join us this evening, but we'll certainly reach out to her and share this information. Thank you, Hillary. I think that's the last time I'm going to speak, so I want to thank everyone this evening. On l'apprécie réellement. Merci Robin d'avoir organisé, merci Aaron, merci à toutes nos équipes d'avoir organisé tout ça. C'est un plaisir et puis continuer de rayonner l'implication citoyenne, ça fait une réelle différence. Rawson?
Thank you, Matt. And I also want to thank everybody who has been very strong in terms of their contributions to our community. It's just been an amazing evening to really recognize the people who really drive our communities. I mean, it's a great honor to represent communities that have this volunteerism drive. And I see it every day, and I know that that's what makes our communities better, and that's what created more social cohesion in our neighborhoods during COVID-19. So I want to thank everybody who's been recognized, and not only the people who've been recognized tonight, but also all the other volunteers throughout our city that are making our city better, including those who are assisting with both COVID-19 testing and vaccination efforts. We know that many of the clinics are staffed by volunteers from the medical profession, and we are grateful for that. We know that the challenges that are confronting the city are really legion. It's incredible, especially from my short sojourn and my short experience here in public life. But I know it's made better because of all the work that you actually contribute to our communities. So I just want you to know, on behalf of my colleagues as well, we are eternally grateful for the work that you have done, especially during this pandemic. This is why I think our communities have weathered the storm, will continue to weather the storm, and we'll see sunshine on the other side. So thank you so much for all the work that you do in our communities.
Mm-hmm. Robin?
Ralston, do you have any other nominees, or those were my nominees.
Oh, good. So we're coming back to Ward 11, the best ward in the city. It's all rainbows and unicorns, because I got two more, folks. I'm saving the last two for the best, and here you go. So first of all, I want to go to Heather Scott, president of the Pineview Community Association, the tremendous work that she's done during these COVID times. We worked so hard to get the community hub opened, and then COVID hit and just basically slapped us all in the face and said, okay, you're going to hold tight. But I've spoken many times with Heather and her community association. They're very excited to hit the ground running again in the future, very soon. And at this point, I want to present the award. And again, something special will be in your mailbox in the next couple of days. But to Heather Scott of the Pineview Community Association, congratulations. And thank you for all the work that you guys are doing.
Well, thank you very much. I have to say that I'm incredibly touched and very humbled by this evening, being surrounded by some incredible people. And I have to echo what I've heard around the table this evening is like, honestly, I'm here because of the great people in my community. It's not a one-person show. It never is. It is always a community behind the great work that we do. Just very quick thank yous, because I know it's been a long evening for everybody. I want to say a quick thank you to my family, my kids, and my loving husband who have put up with me and my hours of volunteer work. I couldn't do it without their support, and my kids continue to inspire me to build a better world for them. And I also want to give a shout out to my entire past and present board members for the Community Association. Honestly, they're the ones who believe in the ideas, and they show up, whether it's 5 a.m. on a Canada Day or craft show, or whenever it's something that we realize there's a gap or a need in the community, and they're there, and I couldn't do my work without them. So thank you everybody for this evening, and I'm looking forward to what's next and future community events, because you better believe we'll be there.
Yes, can't wait. Awesome, thank you. And on to the last but not least, I want to thank for the fact Tony's joined us tonight, Jane's partner as well. I think this is very important. Jane has been a very active member of the Rothwell Heights Properties Owners Association for many, many years. And over the many years that I've worked with Jane, there's been a lot of things, whether it's, some things seem small, but some things are very large. It's a very unique community that is in Rothwell. They got some heritage areas, they got some protected areas. It's always something new and different. And I love working with Jane on those fronts. She's always communicating with the community. And now we have one of our biggest challenges coming up in the very near future, which I gladly will be supporting Jane and her community on about some development coming into the neighborhood. But that being said, I do want to present this award. And again, this will be in your mailbox in the next couple of days. A certificate of recognition to Jane Bramer for the great work that you contributed to your associate. God, this background thing doesn't work too well. That's my bad. Robin warned me. But that being said, congratulations, Jane Bramer, for the great work you've done within our communities.
Thank you, Tim. The advantage of being last in this case is that I rarely have much to say, so I will be quick. Thank you all for this recognition and for the organizers for organizing this event. I'm really grateful, frankly, to be included in this group because there are such accomplished and committed volunteers. Just being included is the greatest award possible. I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to work on urban issues on behalf of our community and our residents. I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to work with our volunteers and our elected officials. It makes life very interesting. We've been continuously active for over 60 years, and we tried to celebrate that last year, but got beaten out by COVID. So maybe we'll celebrate 70 years, Tim. At any rate, the work continues, and so will we. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. And I know Robin is very scripted, and we have one more final segment. We're in the final minute here, but I got to give a shout out to Robin for helping organize all this. And I would like everyone to unmute their mics and just give a big clap for everyone that's taken part this evening. This is something really cool. And thank you so much, everybody. Back to you, Robin. MC to the stars.
Yay. Thank you very much, Tim. Just a couple closing remarks. So just thanks to all the counselors, all Mona, and I'll throw it to you in a second, Mona. Mona, Lucille, thank you for all joining us tonight. All the volunteers, thanks for everything that you do in our communities. Mona, go for it. I'll give you the floor, and then I will just wrap up with a tiny little comment, and take it away.
Thank you, Robin. Bonsoir tout le monde. Good evening, everyone. What a great evening. And it's so great to see all those familiar faces tonight. And I actually can't wait to see you in person very soon. Merci tellement d'être avec nous ce soir pour célébrer tout ce que vous avez fait au cours de la dernière année, ou je devrais dire les dernières années, pour Ottawa-Vanier, pour notre capitale nationale, mais surtout pour le bien-être de nos voisines, nos voisins à travers les causes que vous défendez. Et on a eu vraiment une occasion ce soir d'entendre tellement de bonnes histoires, puis je vous en remercie. Et je veux quand même prendre un moment pour souligner que je me joins avec vous de chez moi, évidemment à Ottawa-Vanier, sur le territoire traditionnel de la nation des peuples algonquins et Anishinabek. And, you know, we're having this ceremony tonight to recognize that real change comes through action, through actively fighting for what we believe in. You and the efforts you've put in the last year and probably many years embody that. And I want to congratulate every one of you for being here today. And thank you for sharing your story, your amazing contribution. Thank you for making such a difference in our community. I feel privileged, and I'm very grateful to be able to celebrate your success and efforts with you tonight. Lorsqu'on parle de s'engager au sein de la communauté, on sait que ça passe par l'entraide et le soutien mutuel dans nos voisinages, dans nos quartiers. Et les invités, vous, de Mathieu, Ralston et Tim, ce soir, incarnent cet esprit d'empathie qui définisse notre ville et notre pays. Puis, je veux également souligner le travail que nous faisons ensemble avec Lucille. You know, we've been working together as Mathieu, Ralston, and Tim mentioned tonight with Lucille, and you know, we couldn't do this without the teams that we have. And I just wanted to take the time to recognize everyone on our teams for the hard work, and a special thank you because we have this opportunity to be together tonight. And it's because they work so hard for us. Alors, merci beaucoup, votre soutien est indispensable. Et vraiment, j'espère que cette soirée de reconnaissance sera une soirée annuelle à compter de maintenant. I really hope this will be an annual ceremony we can do every year, and maybe in person next time. To conclude, I would like to say that last year has really highlighted the importance of helping each other, even when COVID has kept us apart. Whether through raising awareness for a cause or through helping those most affected by this crisis, you have been changing lives every day. And that's because volunteers like you see the struggles of those who are suffering and help them, no matter size of the task. And whether the actions that you have endeavored, it makes a huge, huge difference in the lives of people. And I know from seeing it in the community that you're making a big difference. Alors, vous savez, je partage avec vous cette même passion pour l'entraide dans notre communauté, surtout pour faire la différence, que ce soit avec le combat contre les changements climatiques, la protection de nos langues officielles, combattre l'itinérance, combattre le racisme systémique. Ce sont tous des mouvements auxquels notre communauté est attachée et auxquels on participe ensemble et que nous pouvons faire une différence ensemble. Alors, je sais que je partage également ce cheminement avec mes collègues ici ce soir. Alors, bravo à toutes celles et ceux que nous célébrons et merci encore une fois pour tout ce que vous faites. Congratulations to all of you who have been recognized. You are all winners in my mind, all of you here, and thank you for everything that you do. And I can't wait to see you soon. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup, Mona. Thank you very much, Mona. I just have a quick little something to say here for the rest of the evening. I'm not sure we had, there was another recipient we had, and I don't know if they're on the call or not. His name is Carl Dupont, and I'm not sure if there's anyone here with him. If not, speak now. Otherwise, he'll be getting an award as well. He's done some great things in the community, and he'll also be recognized for his efforts. So if there is someone here for him, please let me know. No, I'll take that as no. So just a quick wrap up, guys. Thanks again for everyone and for everything that you're doing in the community and for joining us. I know it's we're running right on time, maybe just a couple minutes over here, but I would be remiss if I didn't thank my colleagues as well, Aaron and Susan, for help in coordinating the event. It was a team effort, truly, from the beginning to end. As well, I'd like to thank Christina and Jacques for their contributions to the event as well. When we all work together, we do amazing things. So thank you all for everything. That's it, everyone. Bonne soirée à vous tous, and have a great upcoming weekend.
Bonne soirée, merci.
Bonne
Thank
soirée.
you.
Stay cool, everyone.
Hey.
Merci, bonne soirée. Thank you, Mr. King.
Merci beaucoup d'avoir fait ça pour nous. Bravo.
Au revoir tout le monde.
Au revoir.